Just by you watching this video, you are going to save yourself so much time in the process of you manifesting or creating your dream life. These are things that for years I did, things I believed, and the thing I want you to know is that it's not your fault. You're told these things. You watch the movie The Secret, or you go through you listen to other people talk about it, and these are things that I believed for a long time that actually blocked me, straight up blocked me from creating what I wanted in my life. And I'm gonna share with you what those things are, why you shouldn't believe them, and the opposite of them are secrets to you actually creating your dream life, whether that's your ideal relationship you want to create, whether that's you going full-time doing what you love, or it's some dream job that you want to land, or some opportunity, whatever it is, you can accomplish it, but you need to know the right energy dynamics at play for you to actually allow that thing in. Now, the first thing and the first manifestation secret that has changed everything for me is something that I learned when I worked that 9-to-5 job selling women's shoes. I would go into work every day and I would only get paid based on a percentage of what I sold. So selling women's shoes, if I sold $3,000 worth of shoes, I would make $300 because I got 10% commission. Now, one thing that I noticed is that every day I went into this job, I could see a direct reflection between the energy I was putting out to the kind of sales I was having. And there's certain things that I learned. One of them was about just the energy of having fun, loosening up, not taking things so damn serious. When I went in and I had a goal of selling $3,000 and every customer I helped, I was thinking as, how is this going to get me closer to my goal? It was a very serious energy, very contractive energy that did not yield great results. However, I've always noticed that the more fun I am having, the more abundant I am and the more things go in my way. So one of the things you can do for this is to loosen up. Is to not make it so serious that your manifestations come to fruition, and to loosen up the vibration of it by having more fun. And the days I would go in and my intention was to help customers and have fun with them and to connect with them, and those were the days I did the best. But the days I went in and I was really focused on outcome, those are the days that were the most rigid. So one of the biggest manifestation secrets I learned is that it's not about just focusing on the outcome and trying to get the thing that I want or need. It's, am I enjoying the process? Am I having fun? Having fun has always been one of the biggest things that changed everything. Even like now when I'm deciding like what am I gonna do next on when I make YouTube videos and do live events and these things, I literally ask myself, which one is the most fun for me to do? Because the one that is the most fun is the one that's going to do the best. There's a direct correlation. So realize that how you feel about what you're doing is going to be what other people feel from you. So that's very important, because how you feel is literally an important part of manifestation. They say how you think, how you feel, and how you act. And I used to always go by like what I thought I should be doing, but when I started tuning more into fun and feeling, that's when everything really began to change. Now, actually, when I first started, by the way, just sharing the secret, that wasn't the first secret. The first secret was more of something I learned at my job, but the fun was so, I realized that as I was saying it, how important it is to have fun and to loosen up, because it loosens up the resistant energy. But the second manifestation secret that changed everything was when I read a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. Psycho-Cybernetics. It's a book by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, I believe is his name, and it's a book that has to do with understanding your self-image. How do you see yourself? And that we will always do anything we can to stay consistent to how we define ourselves and to who we believe we are, so our self-image. And what the book is about is how everything in your life is equal to your self-image. I read this book and I realized that working at Nordstrom's and women's shoes, I saw myself as an average employee. And at the end of every day, or at the beginning of the next day, you can see the sales from the day before on a sales leaderboard. And I could see that I was consistently always at the middle. I wasn't the best and I wasn't the worst, but I was always at the middle. And I thought to myself, what is my self-image? I read that book and I realized I view myself as an average, mediocre sales employee. I'm not the worst, I'm not the best. So I said, what if I change that? What if I started to literally be and act as a top salesperson? How would the top salesperson, Aaron, act in going to work? How would I present how would I be connecting to people? Would I greet just selective customers, or would I greet every customer? Would I talk to them a certain way? Would I joke around? I would think about this, and I started to be it. I started to be that version of me, and guess what? Within days, I was consistently at the top of that list. Because I stopped being the old version of me and I started being the new version of me that was the top salesperson. So what I learned is, one of the most important things is how you view yourself. And you could change it like that by making a new choice about who you are and tapping into that version of you. So the manifestation secret is that it's not just about the thinking, this is about your identity. How do you view yourself? Because if you view yourself as only able to make and only deserving of $40,000 a year, then you will find yourself thinking thoughts, feeling emotions, and taking action equal to that $40,000 a year. But if you start to see yourself as more, you'll start to question where you are, and you may see that you start to get into new opportunities. So a manifestation secret is that your identity is powerfully affecting your life. So that's the second manifestation secret that absolutely transformed my life. The third one has to do with letting go of outcome. So yes, you can have your focus on an outcome when there's something you want to manifest or create. You could focus on whatever that is, the outcome. If it's a relationship, maybe it's being in that ideal relationship, traveling with this person, having kids, or whatever the outcome is of that. And what you could do is you can imagine that outcome, but one thing people do is they think about it all the time, and it's almost reflects back to them that they're not there already. So one of the things you can do is leave the details up to the universe. Become aware of what you want, and you can literally think about it and feel it for just 5 or 10 minutes a day, and then completely let it go. The degree to which I can let go of outcome is the degree to which I can allow new things in. And I've realized that when I'm too attached to outcome, I create that resistance, and that's when things get serious. So you can allow things to get much more flexible by you enjoying the process, but also knowing that it's not your job to do everything. It's not your job to figure out how every little detail works. And if you think it is your job, then you'll find yourself putting the whole burden on your back, and you'll find it starts to feel really heavy. And you know, I realized that there's a lot of me, I've had this pattern of going into believing things have to be really hard. You know, when I first started on YouTube, I started making daily videos, and I started doing, you know, creating hard work, I guess you could say, that got me great results. Hard work did get me great results, but then I realized that I always believed I had to work hard in order to be successful, and that became a loop. So what I eventually learned is, you know what, I can let go of outcome. And the more I let go of outcome, the more I've allowed amazing things in. Even I remember when I was really like attached to what people thought when I was making certain YouTube videos. The videos that go viral, the ones that I'm the least attached to, and that also I just like kind of trust that it's going to reach whoever it's meant to reach. I remember that I was also really caring what people thought. And I remember one time I made a video on star seeds, and it was something that was like really out of the box for me to make. Especially at the time, but I was like, you know, I'm just gonna let go. This is something I'm passionate about making. I want to talk about this concept, and I made it, and it like infused a whole new level of life into my YouTube channel. And it was something I was afraid to put out, but I let go of the outcome. So I know some things in your life you may feel afraid to do, but realize if you let go and you just do it because you trust the larger process, you'll find that you get rewarded in many ways. The more I've stepped out of my comfort zone, I've always been rewarded, because when you get into the unknown, you can then create something new. You're allowing new things into your life, but when you have creating from the known, you're going to continue to create what you've always got. If you think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and do the same things, you'll get the same results. And yes, it'll feel safe, but it'll keep you locked into that kind of reality. And it's not beneficial long term. So the fourth one, okay, this one I want to share, has to do with, I for a long time was just thinking better thoughts. I would like watch Abraham Hicks and be like thinking better thoughts. I'd be thinking about what I wanted, and for a long time I knew I wanted to be on YouTube, but I was just thinking about it, And I was trying to manifest unique situations. I was trying to manifest, I met Jack Canfield, I met Sage Robbins, Tony Robbins' wife, while I was working at Barney's New York in women's shoes. And I was getting these signs of like these cool things happening. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I want to do one day. And what I realized is that even though I was getting these signs, I thought like I was going to meet Tony Robbins and he was going to put me on or see some potential in me, or I thought that Jack Canfield was going to like, I don't know, there was these fantasy ideas about how things were going to manifest. And one day I just realized no one's going to put me on. Yes, that's, it's almost looking for an easy way out. It's very disempowering too. I'm like, someone's is gonna give me everything. And then I thought about it. I said, you know what? I'm gonna create this for myself. That's when I started making daily videos on YouTube in February 2017. And that's when my life really began to transform. Because remember this, it's not just what you're thinking about, it's who you're becoming. And as I focused on the version of me that was a full-time YouTuber and I was being that version of me, that's when things would change. But one of the things I needed to hear and one of the manifestation secrets is to simply start right meow. Start right meow, okay? Look, start right meow. This right there, okay? Meow, meow. Just start right meow. Don't wait. The longer that you wait, the more you're putting your dreams on hold. The more you're putting you getting out of your comfort zone, you're just prolonging that process. But if I would have started a year before I did, I probably would have gone full-time way sooner. Now, I'm grateful for the way everything turned out, but I see so many people that they're amazing, like they have abilities, they have like amazing talents, or I could just see there's so much potential in so many of you, but what's holding you back is like you think you need to have it all figured out. You need to have the perfect camera equipment or the best paintbrushes or the best this or the best. You don't need any of that. You start with where you are and then you get better as you go. But when I finally started, that's when the momentum really began to shift. So a manifestation secret is it's not about thinking better thoughts. This is about being that ideal version of you consistently. And as you do, there's a new version of you that you become in the process. And as I did that, my whole entire life began to change, and that's why I'm living my dream life right meow. Alright? Now the fifth manifestation secret that has changed everything for me is something called outer intention. Outer intention, now think of it, there's the inner intention. I want to create a certain level of abundance in my life, and a certain level of freedom, and the ability to travel. Those are my inner intentions. My outer intention is what affects other people that also aligns with them so that the energy dynamic comes back to me. So let me explain this a little bit different way. The universe is one giant connective organism. We're all connected. What you put out is literally what you get back. The more value that I can add to other people, the more value that comes back to me. That's really all abundance is. Abundance is an exchange of value. And when I started to focus on the universe flowing through me, that's when things really began to change my life in a powerful way. Yes, I'm passionate about making videos, but it was like, how can I make videos that add value? Once I tapped into that, it's like the universe kept bringing me more and more people. The universe kept bringing me more and more new opportunities because I was using that of my own energy to add value to the collective. And we all have this ability. When you are in your most channeled state or your most aligned state, you're adding value just by being you. Doesn't mean you need to make videos on YouTube. Doesn't mean any of that. It might. But realize that the universe wants to support you, and the more that you tap into that part of you, that channeled part of you, the more that the universe is going to give you more and more opportunities as a reflection. That changed absolutely everything for me when I began to apply it. When I began to understand my own vibration, I began to understand my own level of alignment. So for this, remember, fun. Focus on the more fun you have and the more you're excited about what you're doing, the more your manifestations are going to come to fruition. The more you're going to find that you're in a loose state and you reduce and you release resistance. Secondly, realize your identity is powerfully shaping your life. How do you view yourself? And when you begin to change how you view yourself, everything changes. That's something that we do in the Shift Academy. The Shift Academy is where we teach people how to shift their identity, to create their dream life. So it's shifting your beliefs, it's shifting your labels, it's shifting your inner reality to change your outer reality. And if you want to check out the Shift Academy, you can click the link below, check out the Shift Academy. That's where I go live, we do live coaching, and it's a tribe of people as well that are committed to shifting their life. So that's something that we do to shift identity. Letting go of outcome has been huge for me. The degree to which I can let go of the outcome and trust the universe is the degree to which it gives me a completely new reflection. One of the things you may need to hear is just to start right meow. Don't wait any longer. The sooner you start, the sooner your manifestations can have an opportunity and a way of coming into you. And realize that for this process in general, what was the last one? Outer intention. Outer intention is allowing the universe to flow through you. And when you do that as well, you get the ego out of the way. It allows these things to happen. There's less control there, and things happen easier than ever. So if you guys want more manifestation secrets, if you guys want more numbered lists like this, let me know. Click, either subscribe to this video or subscribe to the channel, or comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace, much love, and namaste.